So today we are, guys. Okay. Guys, you want to quiet down? So today we are finishing up composition of functions with actual composition of functions. This is when I plug in a function for another function. We've kind of done this before when we've plugged in expressions for a value for f of x. Composition is this little circle, so f of g of x. This means I'm plugging g into the function for x. You can see it written either way. The domain of f of g of x is the set of all the x in the domain of g such that the g of x is in the domain of y. So as long as I plug it in and it gives me a value that's still in the domain of f, I can plug it in again. So number one wants me to find f of g of x for f of x equals the square root of x, where x is greater than or equal to 0. And g of x for x minus 1, where x is greater than or equal to 1. And then if possible, find the values for f of g of 2 and f of g of 0. So the first thing I'm going to do is I want to plug this in. So what I'm doing is I am going to be taking this x minus 1 and plugging it in for the x in the f function. So since my g of x had a domain restriction, I'm going to keep that. This is still x is greater than or equal to 1. But this is my first part of the answer. I found the function composition. Then I want to find f of g of 2. So I'm plugging in 2 for x. Okay, what is 2 minus 1? 1. So I have the square root of 1. Which is 1. Okay, so remember on my function I have a domain restriction that x needs to be greater than or equal to 1. Can I find f of g of 0? Why not? 0 isn't greater than 1. So then I can say we can't find f of g of 0 because it's not in the domain. Okay. Guys, quiet down. Okay, so this one is giving me f of x equals x plus 2, and g of x equals 4 minus x squared. It wants me to, first of all, find f of g of x, so I'm plugging in this for the x on f, and then plug in 0 if I can. So I thought I was reading things. Then I want to go ahead and rewrite this in standard form. Questions on how I got my function? Okay, so then what I want to do is I want to go ahead and plug in 0 for x. Yeah? What do you mean, like this one? Oh, on this one, I replaced the x with the, so I plugged this in for that x. I replaced it with that. Okay? So on f of g of 0, what is 0 squared? Bless you. Okay? And then negative 0 plus 6. Bless you. So questions on A? Okay, so B, I'm going the other way around. I'm going to be plugging x plus 2 in for the x in my g function. Yeah? The first letter is the equation that you're plugging into, and the second letter is the one you're plugging in. Huh? Kinda, yeah. So here I plug the f of x in for the x on the g of x function. Okay. What is x plus 2 squared? Mm-hmm. Okay. So then what do I want to do next? Combine like terms. Cara, be quiet. Okay. So then what do I want to do? Mm-hmm. Okay, then I want to combine like terms again. which leaves me with negative x squared minus 4x. And then my 4's cancel out. Oops. Okay, so then I want to plug in 0. Okay, so what is 0 squared? And 4 times 0? And then negative 0 minus 0 is just 0. Questions here? Okay, quiet down. So for number 5, the first thing I'm doing is I am plugging this in for x. Okay. Well, what do you mean by distribute? To what? To, if you really want to. You can multiply it by the 2.
Oh, because then wouldn't it make it a whole number? Okay.
Okay, guys, so what do you want me to do first?
Multiply the 2 and the 1/2.
I'm going to multiply the 2 and the 1/2 together. I could multiply the 1/2 and the x minus 3 together, but if I multiply the 2 and the 1/2 together, it just gives me 1. So I don't need to write that out anymore. It's just x minus 3 plus x plus 3. Because half of 2 is 1, and you don't have to write 1s on the outside. No, because that's not, the plus 3 is not part of that. Because remember, if I was doing like 2 times 3 times 5, I would do 2 times 3 first, and then multiply by the 5. I wouldn't do 2 times the 3 and 2 times the 5.
No, I did understand.
Okay. So then what do I want to do next? Okay. So when I combine like terms, what do I get? Just x. Okay, questions on A? Okay, so then for B, I'm going to take the 2x plus 3 and plug that in for the x on the g of x function. What? I distributed the 2 to the 1/2 on that last one. Yeah. Okay. So on B, what do I want to do first? So I have parentheses here. I probably want to deal with the stuff inside the parentheses first. Yeah, so 2x plus 3 minus 3 gives me 2x. Okay, so what's 1/2 of 2? 1. And then I just have my x, so I just have x. So one thing I want to point out that we'll talk about a bit more tomorrow is when both f of g of x and g of f of x give us x, it means they're inverse functions.